So I arrived last night and I managed to catch the live show that you did. And I have to admit, I come today quite in awe and quite awestruck by what you did last night. I was so impressed by it. You must have been so happy with the results. I was blown away. And I'm not kind of trying to kiss ass and do all that kind of stuff. I was genuinely really impressed.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
I'm glad it's over with. Now, that doesn't sound very positive, but it's the first show to promote this record, and usually I get kind of a head start when I have a record out, like I do one song on a TV show or an award show, or you know what I mean, and I didn't really have any preparation. It was just throwing myself into the meat grinder, so to speak. Working with lots of new people. I had a new musical director, a lot of new dancers, and it was a bit nerve-wracking. And I also didn't have enough time to rehearse. So I went out on stage thinking, oh God, I hope I can pull it all together. So
you did?
Yeah.
What kind of preparations does it take then? How many people, what's the team of people, and what kind of rehearsals do you do?
Well, there's the rehearsals that I have with my band. There's the rehearsals I have with the dancers. And then there's a lot of rear screen projection. So we put together all the footage. So I work with the various filmmakers and editors who are working on that. Then there's the lighting. Then we use laser lights for the first time. So we had to design the laser lights for Give It To Me. And then there is the stage itself.
Wow. So a team of what, 70 people, would you say? Maybe more, kind of?
Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Now, you're doing Radio 1's Big Weekend, which is in Maidstone in Kent. So the places that you're launching this album are...
New York, Paris, and London, yeah.
Okay, Maidstone, which is... I mean, everyone at Radio 1 absolutely
I've never
thrilled.
been there before.
Okay. Have you heard anything about it?
I hear it's fun. Is it crazy?
I've not been to Maidstone myself, but I've done the Radio 1 Big Weekends before.
Oh, yeah.
And it's you'll be performing in this amazing kind of tent.
Right?
Yeah, but it's like the best carnival, the best circus that you'll ever go to.
Right.
So that'll be really good.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, and I'd imagine the whole set is going to work. Is it going to be the same show that you've done in New York?
There'll be a few changes, and of course I don't know if Justin's going to be there or not, so stay tuned. Maybe Pharrell will show up if I'm lucky.
So how will you do it if Justin doesn't turn up?
Well, I'll do 4 minutes without him, and then the video projection will be different, and the choreography will be different. But other than that, it'll be the same.
Okay, so we'll get to see a virtual Pharrell, we'll get to see a virtual Justin if they don't show up. But who knows whether they'll be there.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, and the set is how long? How many songs do we get?
It's 6 songs long, but it's about 40 minutes. Okay. Yeah.
And how do you decide what songs you do? Because you do stuff from the new album and then choose some old ones.
Well, obviously I wanted to do new stuff because I'm very excited about it. And I don't know. I feel like that's what people come to hear, the new stuff. But then I also want to do a little bit of my oldies but goodies.
So how do you choose which old ones you do?
I chose Hung Up because that was the biggest hit from my last record. And I chose music because I just feel like it's a crowd pleaser, it's anthemic, it brings people together, and it's just fun and up.
As much as you're a fan of somebody, it must be quite awkward when you're in a room and you're like, okay, so what do we do?
And mark, get set, be best friends, yeah. It's a little bit awkward, that's a good word, yeah. You don't really know them, and you feel a little bit nervous and intimidated about, do they, because I like to write on my guitar, but often if you play something on an acoustic guitar, it could sound rather folky, right? But that's not how you mean it to sound like once you put, a bass line and drums and stuff. So, there's that moment of embarrassment where you think, well, I'm going to play this for you, but it's not going to sound exactly like this. And you have to get over yourself and stop worrying about what people are going to think, or they're going to think you're corny or not like your lyrics. And Justin admitted to me the other day that he felt the same way. So everyone goes through that, because when you write music, you're really exposing something about yourself. And if you don't know somebody, you feel a little bit embarrassed.
I remember, one of the things I read was about Pharrell bringing his Mickey Mouse slippers. Was that for real?
Yeah. Pharrell is for real, yes. Yes, he had his little sort of Lucky Charms.
Oh, is that what it was? They were Lucky Charms?
His lucky slippers. He says he can't write without them.
Okay.
Yeah.
With Timbaland as well, I've interviewed him, and I've interviewed people who've worked with him, and they've said, if you get, there are two Timbalands. You get the really lovely Timbaland, then you get a different Timbaland who can be a bit spiky, and you only want him on the good day. Did you experience that?
I experienced both. I experienced him being very up, jovial, communicative, And other times he just would come in and just put his headphones on and not speak to anyone. And you think, okay, well, he's in his own world. So we would be working with other musicians, and Justin and I would be writing words together. And then I didn't even think he'd be paying attention. Then he'd take off a headphone and go, no. And then he'd put his headphone back on, you know, or he'd turn around and go like that. You know what I mean? So he's quite unique.
Yeah.
You think he's not paying attention, and he is.
But it's all there.
Yeah.
When you come to Mesa, are you bringing the children with you? Will you have your kids there?
I'll probably bring Lola with me. Yeah, maybe Rocco. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be quite a few bands that you'll probably enjoy as well. Have they seen you performing? Do they come along and watch all the sound checks and things?
They come to the rehearsals. They're sort of over it, you know. Yeah, they like to skateboard around and. Yeah.
When you're on stage, you seem to you're very ballsy. You seem to have like balls of steel, and yet you've talked about being quite shy.
I think I'm both. I mean, I think when I'm on stage, I'm comfortable. That's the milieu that I'm familiar with, and when I'm relating to an audience, I feel very confident. But you know, on the other hand, if I walked into a room at a party and I didn't know any of the people, I could feel quite shy and introverted. It depends on how intimate the surrounding is, and I think that both of those. I think that people don't really ever expect that from performers, or a Leo, for instance. They think, oh yeah, you're really courageous and you don't ever get intimidated, but that's completely wrong.
You do? What particularly intimidates you then? Is it kind of...
not being, you know, not like coming into an unfamiliar environment and not knowing people and not knowing where I stand or who the people are. That would make me feel a little bit uncomfortable until I sort of get a vibe on everybody. Yeah.
I remember seeing you at a restaurant once, and because I'd interviewed you, I came over to speak to you thinking it'll be fine. And you were with Guy, and it was just the two of you, and you were really lovely and smiley faced, and Guy was just like glowering about this very protective kind of partner.
Yes, he's not a big fan of people. When we go out, he gets very irritated when people interrupt us.
Right, yeah, which is understandable completely. Any woman
but I was happy to see you.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I just sort of go, okay, I'll just back off here. Any woman who's working and kind of trying to do the whole working thing, having a partner, having kids, knows that it's quite tricky. There's a lot of guilt involved. When I was coming here, I said to my son, I was like, oh, I'm going to New York to interview Madonna, and his first thing was, I said, oh, have you got a question for her? And he said, yeah, can you ask her when you can get on a plane and come home because your children are missing you? I was like, okay.
That's a good question.
It's a very good question.
How old is he?
He's 9.
He's a cheeky little bugger, isn't he?
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. But is that something, do you get a hard time from your kids?
Yes. When are you coming home? Why are you always working? Why can't you just be like a normal mom? Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
I just remind them about all the things that they have, and that if I didn't do what I did, they wouldn't have those things. They get to travel a lot, they get to do a lot of interesting things and meet a lot of interesting people, and usually that, you know...
Shuts them up for a while.
Yeah, shuts them up.
And what about Guy? Is he quite needy at times? Do you get as your children are demanding of you and time and stuff like that?
But he's a man, of course. Aren't they all?
There's other women who are doing similar kind of things of being performers in the public eye. There are quite a few people who've kind of publicly fallen apart at the moment. You know, if you think of Amy Winehouse, you think of Britney, people like that. Why do you think that you have held it together and you haven't particularly had that experience?
I don't really know that much about Amy Winehouse. I know Britney a little bit, and I can say probably a lot of it has to do with the fact that she never was allowed to have a childhood. You know, she was a star when she was a child. She didn't, you know, get to grow up and make mistakes privately and try things out and just be a kid and be innocent. She's sort of been watched and judged and been under a microscope since she's a teenager, which I think is really tough. It's hard to evolve that way. So I would, you know, attribute a lot of it to that.
I recently saw an interview with Debbie Harry, who I know you absolutely loved when you were growing up and kind of looked up to. And she was talking about ageism when you're in the music industry and how she fought sexism when she was growing up for ages, but then she suddenly meet this other beast. Is that something that you've had to deal with as well?
Well, it's curious that they're a lot more interested in the age of women in the music business than they don't ever like mention, you know, the ages of people like Mick Jagger or whatever. You know, it's sort of, so yeah, ageism towards women, I have found that to be kind of prevalent. But,
but you seem
try to get on with it and ignore it. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I've just been struck by loads of people when I've said I was coming out to meet you. People just so much in awe, and kind of the whole spectrum of society as well. People just really admire what you do. So, in terms of age-defying and going, kind of working out and keeping fit, what do you do?
What's my fitness regime?
Something like that.
Well, I have a trainer, and I work out with her 6 days a week. And I have a room that I've created, and it's kind of like dance aerobics. We jump on trampolines. We do a bit of gymnastics.
For how long? For 3 hours a day?
No, 2 hours. Yeah, an hour and a half if I'm crushed for time. She's quite strict.
But you get a day off?
I do.
Okay.
And today's my day off. But it's not really a day off. There's no such thing as a day off anymore, is there?
No. See you in Maidstone then for Radio 1's Big Weekend.
Great. Thank you.